Hi everybody, this is Joyce of Ms. Joyce Tarot, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about values and what we value and what we don't value and why some things are more valued than other things. This whole topic occurred to me recently. The last time I heard someone talking to me about being a vegetarian, and I hear this argument a lot all over the place. People saying that, well, we should be vegetarians because animals have souls and we shouldn't really be killing animals and that type of thing. And, um, I understand that, animals do have souls and, they're sentient creatures, but so are plants. Aren't plants living things? We don't mind killing a plant for our sustenance, and it's not okay to kill an animal. And, people maybe don't think of plants as being sentient, but, they don't have brains perhaps like humans do, or animals even, but they do have a consciousness. And um, who's to say what is a soul? What is a soul anyway? If we believe in unity consciousness, if we believe that everything comes from the same source, then so do plants and rocks for that matter, and dirt and other things we don't think have a consciousness, but they do. um, if you think about a plant sitting in the sun, and if you ever notice, if you have like a potted plant and the leaves are pointing toward the source of sunlight, and sometimes I'll just turn the pot around so that the other side is closer to the source of sunlight, and within a day, the leaves are starting to lean the other way. Is that simply a biological process? Is that a consciousness, a type of consciousness? And is human consciousness better than animal consciousness? Is animal consciousness more sacred than plant consciousness? And, I've heard some arguments that, well, for instance, a fruit tree, when the fruit is ripe, it falls to the ground, and therefore the fruit is offering its bounty to us to eat. And I'm like, says who? Who is to say that that is the reason why the fruit falls from the tree? I mean, that just sounds like a human quality that we have bestowed upon the falling fruit. It falls maybe because it falls, because that's what it does when it gets ripe. Does that mean that we're at liberty to pick it up and eat it? I think the fact of the matter is that humans are able to eat all types of things. They're able to eat fruit, plants, and they're able to eat meat. They're able to digest it. There could be an argument made that perhaps fruits and vegetables and that type of thing is healthier for a human being. An argument can be made that fruits and vegetables, I just resonate with them and I like eating them. I feel better when I myself particularly eat them, and that's the reason why I'm a vegetarian. And that is a valid argument, but is it a one size fit all type thing? When you look at evolution, perhaps prehistoric man, the first men perhaps who walked the earth, they didn't have the tools because they hadn't evolved enough to be able to make tools in order to be able to kill animals. And so it was easier for them to eat fruits and vegetables. And once they learned to make tools, they were able to use them to slaughter. And an argument could be made that the way we slaughter animals is inhumane and we shouldn't do that. And that's a valid argument as well. But there are humane ways or to kill an animal, and I don't know, is killing anything ever humane? If you rip a vegetable from the ground, is that humane? Is that a humane way to kill a plant? To rip it out of the ground and pull up the roots of a plant? Is that humane? Or should you just, chop off the top of the head? Or, what does that mean, humane? Animals in the wild use each other for food. Like lions eat antelope and so on down the line. Some animals are prey for others. One animal could be a natural predator, so-called natural predator for another in the wild. And so we say that's inhumane because animals eat meat, if that's what they eat. And I was listening to a report on the news today, because it is the start of hunting season, and the commissioner of hunting said something to the effect of, hunting is a good thing because it, especially when it's done safely and done within certain rules, that it helps to keep the animal population down. And I thought about that, and while some people may take issue with it, and first of all, I'm not advocating vegetarianism. I'm not advocating eating meat. I'm not advocating hunting, but by the same token, that can be an argument that it does keep the animal population down. When animals are natural predators to another animal, that is nature's way of keeping the population down. It is a way of balancing the ecosystem. So why isn't the same thing true when it comes to men and hunting? We think it's barbaric to shoot an animal, and then we put the trophies. Some people have an issue with having trophies of animal heads, lining people's mantles. Um, but this is the universe. This is humans. This is who we are. We evolved from being, walking on all fours, being apes maybe, to becoming upright and inventing things, discovering the wheel, discovering fire, discovering how to make tools, all of that. And so while we like some of our tools, we don't like what people do with them. And the same is true of animals. We like some of the things animals do, and we don't like other things. Even among rodents, if we have if there are squirrels in our attics, we try to capture them and capture them humanely, in a way that doesn't kill them. But if our attic was full of rats, we'd be throwing down the poison. We don't care if they die. Why is one animal more valuable than the next one? And they all do their share. They all do their share. I know there's problems with diseases that animals can carry. I'm not sure that squirrels and rats don't have the same risks for carrying and spreading disease. So what's up with that? Why? So all I'm saying is that, and then taking it to its natural conclusion, we do the same thing among humans. Okay, some humans are more valuable than others, and sometimes it's based on race, sometimes it's based on nationality, sometimes it's based on gender or sexuality. There are all kinds of ways where we chop up humans, and one becomes more valuable than the other. And I don't have to go through all the different examples that we see every single day in the news and in our own lives where we are not being valued as much as someone else. For instance, if you're a woman in the workplace doing an equal job, or a similar job that a man is doing, that you're not going to be paid as much. We look on the news, and some people's murders are more shocking than others. Others we don't even hear about. Even among women, if a businesswoman goes missing, there's that becomes newsworthy. And if you are a sex worker, maybe not so much, um, based on race, one child's life may be more valuable, or seem to be more valuable than another. And we make all of these judgments about, how we should eat, and politics, and the whole gamut. But we all, we look at a rock. If you have a rock, a pebble that you step on, what makes that less valuable than some of the crystals that we put on our shells, or we meditate with, or we, make into jewelry. What is the difference there? So we are all from the same source. We all have the same source of creation. So is one of us more valuable than the other, either as humans, as animals, as plants, as rocks? Are we all the same? Are we all valuable, or are we not? So I would love to hear what you think about that. Please comment, share, and like this video. And I am going to pull a card to see what Spirit had to say, or to add on to what I have already said on this subject. And the card we have is the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is a youthful energy that is all about being loving, being gentlemanly, so to speak, or being very fond and tender of your feelings. And sometimes, because it is a youthful energy, the Knight of Cups is also wishy-washy. He may love somebody, and I'm saying he, but it could be he or she, can love somebody one day, and the next day maybe love fades a little bit, or maybe it was just infatuation. Was it really full-on love? So the same can be said of the values that we have in society. What makes one thing more valuable than another? Sometimes, we look at politics, and we have some values that we cherish, and then, years down the line, these same values are not cherished as much. And the same can be said of foods and fads and diets. And maybe we might learn something new in terms of science that changes our mind about what we used to think was healthy and what isn't. We all have to look into our hearts to figure out what is value. And if we value ourselves to the fullest, it's not such a stretch to take that feeling of love and apply it to everything and everyone, regardless of who they are, because everything is an extension of ourselves. So thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will talk to you soon.